All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our email marketing services and how they work. And so in this particular case, we have a few key activities. And the first thing that we have to do when it comes to email marketing, and we'll talk about the values of email marketing shortly. I'll actually start with the values. So first of all, when it comes to email marketing, you're able to reach prospects quickly simply because traditionally you're emailing the decision maker directly, or there is a general email address for the company or organization or brand that you can reach out to, in which the organization's office will take a look at and direct the email to the proper individual. So you're reaching prospects quickly, and thus ultimately increasing your sales, and thus ultimately increasing your awareness, either maybe through more customers, or if you need to get more people to sign up or become aware of your project or service or product. That's what that's there for. And our email marketing services are mostly focused on business to business outreach, if you will, and connecting with other businesses. If you're a business, we do connect with consumers or community residents, but the way we do that is through an organization. So it's that organization's role to share the information with their network once we send that information to the organization, which is why we focus mostly on business to business. And then we do provide, of course, as far as our value with our email marketing, activity reports in a timely fashion. We are professional, and ultimately you're outsourcing your email marketing to our firm. And so some of the key activities in that regard is we first have to research prospective clients that we have in our database. And from there, we're able to give you an actual number amount of prospects that we can reach out to. And then we have to create the email template, and we'll talk about that in more detail shortly. And then we have to send out the email, blast it out. We have a startup package, and an enterprise package for our email marketing services. The startup package is mostly a 1 to 3 email blast of that same email content. So you're going to have one email template that we create, and we're going to send that out anywhere between 1 to 3 times. That's our startup package. Our enterprise package is more automated, where we have several emails that go out over a course of weeks or months, and they are automated and go out on a scheduled timeline. And each email that goes out through an automated timeline is something that's going to get your prospect to become one step closer to actually purchasing from you or working with you in some capacity. So ultimately, it's kind of like emails on the enterprise aspect, going out every few weeks, and it's saying, hey, you're interested. The second email that might go out a week later saying, hey, here's a cool fun fact about our company. Another email might go out a week later, a few days later saying, hey, did you hear about the new success that we did for a client? And so we have scheduled, premeditated emails that go out on an automated basis over a course of time, in which you are the prospect will automatically over time click a button and say, hey, I'm ready to buy, and actually purchase, or whatever your call to action is. That's what they'll do. That's the enterprise package. Compared to the startup package, it's not automated. You're going to get one template, one email. You're going to blast that email out up to 3 times. And how the startup package works is ultimately where the enterprise is more automated to the point of the sale. The startup package, same email goes out, and then you have someone making a phone call or sending out a text to the prospect to make sure that they are checking their email, or finding out why they did not check their email. Ultimately, each package has a call to action button to either purchase the product or service, or to sign up for whatever you're offering, or to complete an interest form, in which at that time, with them completing the form, my firm or your company at that time will reach out to the prospect. And so, and again, as you see here in the key activities, the goal is to monitor those interest forms. And then we also provide telemarketing, again, in which we're reaching out to those prospects. And we'll talk about that in more detail. Now, as far as our customer relationships with our email marketing services, we're focused on either increasing your customer base or increasing your presence in the community. And so that's business development and community relations, business development or public relations. And each one is different. One is possibly looking to provide a transaction. The other one is looking possibly to increase awareness and get more community buy-in. So those are our customer relationships between our email marketing service. And then ultimately, as far as the customer segments, because we focus on businesses mostly, we're pretty much focused on a urban area. And then we target the specific businesses or kind of businesses that you're looking for. And we started in the Nashville area to include Davidson, Montgomery, and Robertson counties. We do work with small, medium, and large businesses, government agencies as well. And so ultimately, you'll take your pick as far as what your customer base is, and we'll reach out to those individuals. Now, as far as our key resources, we do have a customer relationship management system, again, that we use that houses all of our contacts, thousands of contacts in various industries to include private sector, public sector, which is government agencies, and the volunteer sector, which is nonprofit organizations. And so we have a customer relationship management system that we use to identify those prospects. We have a seasoned administrative and sales staff. And outside of that, as far as key resources, if you work with us on email marketing, we're going to need from you certain information to add and put into the template. And we'll talk about that shortly. And then, of course, we have our email software that we use to get the job done. And specifically for our email marketing services, we do focus on emails and phone calls. We do provide text every now and then, but we like to provide an intimate relationship. So that's why telephone calls are so important. Outside of that, our cost traditionally is the administrative assistant and the sales representative that's on the phone. Of course, we have to do research to identify who those prospects are for you. And then we also have to create the email template. Now, the revenue streams is ultimately more sales for you, ultimately more awareness for you, and ultimately more contacts for you. And so some of the details as far as our email marketing service, simply on the key activity side, we're researching prospective clients, and those prospective clients usually are about $2 per lead. So when we provide those prospects, it's $2 per prospect. So how many number of prospects that we can identify, you just times that by 2. And then also, when it comes to our telemarketing services and the phone calls, we traditionally provide 4 hours of phone calls. And we have we make 12 phone calls per hour, which means ultimately within those 4 hours, we're reaching out to 48 or making 48 phone calls. Now, how you want to arrange those phone calls are up to you. Let's say, for example, 48 phone calls. We can call 48 prospects one time, or we can call or we can call 24 prospects twice because they might not pick up the first time, leaving a voicemail. Someone might say, we have your message and we'll call you back, but they never call back, or they ask us to call back at a certain time. So you may want to just say, hey, let's focus on, if we have 48 calls, let's focus on 12 prospects and reach out to those 12 prospects 4 times to ensure that we can get those individuals to complete an interest form and start to begin scheduling an appointment for either our company, our firm, or your company to go out and connect with the prospect. Now, as far as key resources and those advertising materials, very important to make sure that we get any pictures or videos that you want to make sure that we share in that email template, any kind of data or stats that you may have, we need to share in those in that template, as well as any kind of contact information at the minimum that we would need in order to have individuals call us back or to do more research or find out more information about your business. So those are some of the resources that we would need. So that's pretty much the ins and outs of our email marketing service. Make sure you click the link so we can schedule a time to connect and get you started with increasing your customer base or your presence in the community.